The most common strategy used by top Vanguard players is damage deny, halting your opponent's counterblast so that they cannot use their skills. However, the deck that I'm going to show you today is able to play around it. Made by my triple sleeve TCG teammate Joens and his friend Adam, it combines the two skills of Pongo's Soul Charge and D-Gun's Counter Charge to flesh out Pluck Enchanter in an Altmile Blaster variant. Remember to leave a comment down below, let me know what you think, don't forget to subscribe, and enjoy! Starting off with our Altmile engine, we of course have 4 copies of Aerial Divine Knight Altmile, 2 copies of Blue Sky Knight Altmile, 4 Laurel Knight Sicilus, and 3 copies of Suleiman. So this is just to ensure that you could ride whatever grade 3 you want. Ideally, you always want to be on Aerial and be able to get off the second skill for it at all times. But you have multiple ways to search it out. So Suleiman, you always want to search it out, and also works well with the rest of the deck we'll get into later. Sicilus, of course, a generic grade 3 searcher, is one of the best cards in the Royal Paladin, the clan. Being able to add whatever grade 3 you want and just discard anything, and discarding your quick shield is actually really good. Blue Sky Knight is just another Altmile name. And Aerial, of course, for the Altmile, being the main Altmile boss monster and giving all your grade 2s plus 10,000 power and 5k shield if you have no face-up damage, and of course if you have an Altmile and Soul, they also gain a critical as well. But his second skill, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, you could search your deck for 1 grade 2 and your drop zone for 1 grade 2 and call them to rearguard. It's really good. So that's the Altmile package, and it interacts with the Blaster engine that we are running in this deck today, with 2 copies of Blaster Blade and 4 copies of Pluck Enchanter. So Pluck Enchanter makes the whole deck go. It fulfills multiple roles for us as a counter charger and a soul charger. So most decks play like Pongo and Akane. As I talked to Jonathan about it, that this is actually better than them because it counters the damage deny, which is such a prominent strategy in Vanguard today, and allows you to use the Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1 for Aerial Divine Knight if you have no face-up damage, of course. So when you call your Blaster Blade, you're able to counter charge 1 if you have no face-up damage and Soul Charge 1. So if you watch the video that I did previously with the Kagero deck and the match with the Altmile against it, how I kept the Altmile player at 2 damage, if he played the Pluck Enchanter, he would have been able to have a more explosive turn and potentially finish us with even easier ease, if that makes sense. And of course, Blaster Blade being able to counterblast 1, Soul Blast, retire or something, so if you don't need the face-up damage for whatever reason, you could always just use the resources that were fulfilled with Pluck Enchanter to retire an opponent's front row rear guard, which is really, really detrimental to your strategy. And it also works with Suleiman because if you have the Blaster Blade, you could pop something on your opponent's field and then bounce it back to your hand to use with Pluck Enchanter on the next turn. Next, for our counter blasters, we have 1 Lamorak. This is being able to counter blast 1 as an act and gain plus 10k is really, really good. And then 2 copies of Little Sage Marin. Just being a grade 1 is really useful for the deck. You have to play some other grade 1 space, and since we don't need Pongo, Marin is the best option. 2 Galatine as our big defense monster, big defense card of the deck. So being able to be just a solid 1 answer 15k shield with your Aerial Altmile is really good, especially with the meta shifting forward to hit higher numbers. This is one of the ways that you're able to kind of balance out those matchups. And then for our Starlight Violinist package, we of course have 3 copies of Violinist and 1 Hopesong Angel. I want to find space for the 4th Violinist just because of how important it is, giving all grade 2s boost and the ability to intercept. But I really like the 1 Hopesong Angel because there's a really big combo that you could do with this deck, which I'll go through at the end of the video. And then of course Tion just becoming a 19k attacker if you have more than 5 units, or booster if you have the Violinist on the field, is really good. Next, for our searcher, we have 4 copies of Livarot. Livarot, being able to search out whatever grade 2 we need to support whatever strategy we choose to go for, is always good at all parts of the game. And you could combo with Pluck Enchanter to get off some insane plays. And then of course for triggers, we have 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal, and Milius. The main combo that I want to show you guys is... So this is the main combo that I want to go over. It involves having 1 face down damage because your opponent damage denied you and your pluck enchanter. This is where this card really gets to shine. So it's a 1 card full field, and the one card that makes it go is Livarot. So you would call the Livarot, use its skill Soul Blasting the grade 2 that you rode, and searching your deck for 1 copy of Blaster Blade. I usually put the Blaster Blade here, so I could always have access to it. And then you would activate Pluck Enchanter's skill, being able to Soul Charge 1 and Counter Charge 1 for Aerial Divine Knight. Then you would activate Aerial Divine Knight's skill, being able to Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. Search your deck for 1 grade 2, call it. I usually like to call Tion at this point, or Lamorak if I still have whatever resources, or Galatine, whatever situation calls for it. And one of them has to be Starlight Violinist, so your whole deck can go. And there you have kind of a 1 card Pluck Enchanter full field with Altmile. So that's it. That's the deck. I want to say thank you to my sponsor, Triple Sleep TCG, and my teammate Joens for allowing me to profile his deck for all of you today. It's a great deck, and I highly recommend you all to try this deck out for yourself and see how it works for you. I think that you'll find that it runs really smooth. He's done really well at tournaments with it. And yeah, just once again, thanks to Joens and his buddy Adam for putting this deck together. It's super fun. So thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.